And welcome back. When it comes to healthy trends, they seem to change. They seem to change faster than we can keep up with.
Right. So from eating egg whites only to showering every single day, there are a lot of so-called rules that we've all heard of. But how do you know what's real and what's simply a rumor?
Let's sort it out. We're gonna separate facts from fiction with our senior medical correspondent, Dr. John Torres. I'm gonna come down here and visit with you. Okay. So egg whites, they always seem like a healthier option because we know the egg yolks have cholesterol and all the rest. But you say,
and you know, if you remember the 80s and 90s, eggs were kind of the food to not get.
Yeah,
forbidden food. Don't touch eggs. And then it switched to where eggs are part of a healthy diet. But then they said egg yolks. Avoid the egg yolks because each yolk has about 200 milligrams of fat. And it's bad. You know, they say, so don't do it.
So
now the truth is that egg yolks can actually be a good part of a healthy diet because that fat that's inside, the cholesterol that's inside that egg yolk is polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and it doesn't necessarily translate to the fat in your body, to cholesterol. And so as long as it's one a day, no more than 7 or so a week, you should be fine.
This is a big one. Parents have said this for years. Eat some carrots. It'll keep your eyes sharp.
And this is one of my favorite ones because I was a pilot in the Air Force, and this is one of the things where, like, eat carrots. It's great for your night vision.
Wait, you were a pilot in the Air Force?
I was a pilot in the Air Force for years.
I know that. Okay.
But this actually came out of World War II. Because the pilots started using radar, the British pilots, but the British government didn't want people to know that's how they were spotting the enemy at night. So they put out a rumor that it was because they ate carrots, they could see better at night.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and so they said, you know, eat carrots, you'll eat better at night. Now, carrots can be part of a healthy diet. They have vitamin A and beta carotene.
Good for you.
They can help, but them by themselves are not going to help.
This one, I'm going to have to beg to differ with you. You say a myth is sugar makes kids hyper. I know from daily experience that as soon as my kids eat sugar,
and, you know, it's interesting.
They go crazy.
If you talk to researchers versus parents, researchers will say study after study, these studies where they gave kids sugar and then gave them sugar substitutes, they saw them not get any more hyper with sugar. They're saying it doesn't work. If you talk to parents, they say, boy, I give them sugar, they're going to go spinning around.
A piece of cake and they go crazy.
So what researchers say, which has a little bit of truth to it, think about it. Number one, first and foremost, you think they're going to get more excitable if they eat sugar. So anything they do after eating sugar, you're going to blame on the sugar. Number two, they usually get sugar at celebrations and parties when they're hanging out with their friends, they're running amok, they're going feral. So
their level's already high. So they eat sugar, it's just like the cherry on top.
But you talk to most parents, they say, I don't believe this one.
Yeah, this one I'll hold my judgment. All right,
so interesting, because I'm with you, Hoda, for sure. Anyway, all right, so this is a good one. Does cracking your knuckles cause arthritis?
It does not cause arthritis.
Really?
That's one of those things we've all been told since we were a kid. So here's what happens. When you crack your knuckles, there's actually fluid and some little bubbles in there, gas bubbles inside your knuckles. When you crack your knuckles, those gas bubbles pop, and that makes the noise, and that's why you can't crack them right away.
Is it harmful?
One after the other.
Because, you know, people are always cracking stuff.
The only thing that might happen, if you do it on a consistent, very frequent basis, you might lose grip strength when you're older, but it does not cause arthritis. It might cause annoyance to the person sitting next to you, so you got to be careful with that.
All right, this is another good one. You hear strength training stops, they're like, oh, your muscle's going to turn to fat.
And it doesn't. Muscles cannot turn to fat. But what happens is your muscles atrophy, so you start losing that muscle mass, and so you don't look as toned, and so they say, yeah, it looks like it's more fat. It turned to fat. On top of that, your metabolism goes down, your food input might not go down, and so you might end up gaining weight and putting fat on that way.
Last but not least, well, I thought this was true. Calories in, calories out.
And this is one of those things that's kind of the overall umbrella. If you look at things, you're like, you know, sure, if you eat less calories, then you're going to go ahead and lose some weight. If you burn more calories, you're going to lose some weight. But everyone's very different, very specific. And foods, you digest foods different than I do. You absorb foods different. You store foods different. And so it's different for everybody. So even though it's a catchphrase, it doesn't necessarily apply to everybody all the time.
All right.
All right, let's keep going here, Dr. John. Let's bust some more myths here. Let's talk about showering. So you don't need to shower every day?
You don't. So we have protective oils on our skin. Those protective oils actually keep our skin healthy. If you shower every day, you get rid of those oils, and that's why often we have to put lotion on. On top of that, if you wash your hair every day, especially if you have curly hair, it can get rid of the oils in your hair, and it can cause hair damage as well. And so typically, but you do want to shower, because if you don't, you're going to get bacteria in your pores and get infections. Every couple of days
what if you're out there working out, you're getting funky?
See, that's different. If you want to shower because you want to make sure that you're socially acceptable, that's different than if you just want to shower to be healthy.
All right, let's talk about the 5-second rule. You drop something on the floor.
Yeah, everybody says the same thing. 5 seconds, and you can pick it up. That doesn't work. As soon as it hits the floor, it gets germy. And the problem is, depending what it hits, it's going to get germy in other places. Tile floors are actually the worst because they collect a lot of germs, and they get right into the food. Sticky food is the worst as well because it collects food very quickly. Carpet's not as bad. If it's on a sidewalk, if it's on a New York City subway, just throw it out. If you can rinse it off in your house and drop it, if you drop it and you can rinse it off and eat it, then you could probably do that.
Okay. And this one just seems disgusting. Sharing lip products?
You know, there's so many things that can happen when you share lip products, especially if you share lip gloss, because, again, that's sticky and it can get a lot of germs in there as well. So just be careful.
How about kissing? That's a no, too. That's all a no. All right.
Wow, that was a lot. We learned a lot.
There you go. Thank you, Dr. John.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.